Now they say truth is stranger than fiction. When web series Fauda was released, not many thought that a big group of terrorists could ever successfully attack Israel. But on the 7th of October, more than 2,000 terrorists armed to the teeth actually did. What now and what next for Israel? The creator of Fauda, Avi Issacharoff, joins me on this special broadcast. And Avi, it's such a privilege to have you on the show. I want to understand from you, the 7th of October, that was an absolute nightmare. Your thoughts 1 month after the worst terror attack in Israel's history, sir.
So I must say that the Israeli people, the state of Israel are still in shock from the massacre that took place on October 7th with the 1,400 people that were massacred on that day, on that terrible day, and the 240 hostages that were taken into Gaza. Since then, we had seen some kind of waking up in the Israeli side and retaliating for what Hamas did, meaning what we see today on the ground in Gaza is a massive ground operation of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, and they are taking a bite after a bite from what was under Hamas control, and slowly, they are going to take over the Gaza Strip. I don't know yet what will happen after that, but I'm sure that Gaza City will fall very soon to the hands of the IDF. I can only assume that we will not see Hamas as a government, as a regime, back in power in Gaza.
So are you saying that Gaza City will fall very soon? Are you indicating that Israel's military objectives are in sight?
I will try to make it a little bit more down to the details. There are two aims for the Israeli operation. One is to bring down, to topple Hamas's regime, the government. Right now, the government stopped functioning. There's no control of Hamas above the ground in Gaza. The IDF is closing on the center of Gaza City, which is the symbol of Hamas's regime. So that is achievable, and we're very close to end this battle over the Gaza City. But we know that many of Hamas operatives are hiding underground, underneath Gaza City and underneath the Gaza Strip in general. And over there, that's a different story. So I think that one target is achievable, which is topple Hamas's regime or bringing down Hamas's regime. The other one, to eliminate Hamas's military capabilities, that will take a way longer time. I'm not sure that it's achievable, but I'm sure that it is achievable to damage it in a very severe way. And this is what already been done on the ground in Gaza.
So, Avi Issacharoff, the fighters on ground, the Hamas terrorists on ground may be neutralized. Now, you just heard the spokesperson in Israel Prime Minister's office who joined me, who said that close to 3,000 or 3,000 plus Hamas terrorists had been neutralized so far. What about Hamas leaders who are living a very comfortable life, maybe in Qatar, maybe in other countries? What about leaders like Ismail Haniyeh?
Right now, we haven't heard about any Israeli intentions to get to them in Qatar, at least, because Qatar is the mediator between Hamas and the Israeli government over the hostages. I am sure that, if I would have been a Hamas official today living abroad or in Gaza, I would make sure, not 10 times a day, but 100 times a day, that I'm not going to be killed in the next minute or an hour, because we do understand that all Hamas's leadership is a walking target today. And many of them are dead men walking. Some of them know that. Some of them do not understand that yet.
You conceptualized Fauda, you thought of various scenarios, but what, according to you, went wrong on the 7th of October? Because Israel, with its fence, with its underground sensors, with its CCTV cameras, with Shin Bet and Mossad, with the IDF, was considered as a citadel for its people. Why did everything fail, and how did Hamas succeed?
Regardless of Fauda, because Fauda, at the end of the day, it's a TV show, it's fiction. I think that in reality, everything went wrong on October 7th. Everything, including everything. I mean, it was the worst day for the Israeli army, for the Israeli intelligence, for the Israeli leadership. All of them together collapsed. The conception that was led by our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, that we can do some business with Hamas, failed completely. The IDF deployment on the border failed completely. The Israeli intelligence, they were the ones that were supposed to bring the information, and they failed also. So it's a kind of a collateral failure for everyone, including everyone, in what happened on October 7th. For Hamas, it was like winning the lottery twice in a row. What are the chances for that? I think that they themselves were very much shocked from how successful they were on the battlefield.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the battle for the mind space, the battle of narratives that's on virtually across the world? And Israel, despite having lost 1,400 of its people, despite 240 plus being held hostage by Hamas, Israel is in the line of global fire.
It's complete madness. I think that it's coming out of pure ignorance and pure anti-Semitism. People tend to not like Jews, and people tend to not understand the reality on the ground. I'm not sure that people in Europe, in the campuses in the US, understand that Hamas is a terrorist organization that is calling for the elimination of the state of Israel. I'm not sure that they know that Hamas took over Gaza in a coup in 2007, killing 160 Palestinians, Fatah members, the Palestinian Authority members. Why? Because they wanted to take over. And since then, it's a Sharia law dictatorship where they treat people, they treat men, they treat women like animals. Women are not allowed to go to places alone. LGBT rights, it's totally forbidden. They behave like dictators, like radical Islamist dictators. This is A. B, people do not understand that the Israelis didn't siege over Gaza. They had some kind of an open border. We had around 18,500 people coming out of Gaza every day to work in Israel. Outside my house here in Tel Aviv, I had people from Rafah, which is the southern area of Gaza, working here in Tel Aviv. We had some Palestinians coming to the hospitals, working in Israel, getting fuel, electricity, water, and all this under a terrorist organization. So Israel did try to give them some kind of economic prosperity, but at the end of the day, after billions of dollars that were transferred to Gaza in investment, what Hamas did is to take all this money and invest it instead of its own people in building a military capabilities. And you know what? Since then, we see one thing that is very, very obvious. Hamas wants dead Palestinians. Hamas is shooting rockets from inside populated areas, is sending the people to shoot on the Israeli side. Everything in order to make the Israelis retaliate and to kill civilians, Palestinian civilians, and by that, blaming Israel for committing atrocities. This is Hamas. Okay. This is the monster that we've been dealing with.
Issacharoff, for joining me here on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks.